So, Ring of Honor plans to, I guess you could say, as part of the Reimaging next year and being a more fan-focused product, they plan to basically go back to, I guess you could say, the basics. Basically, in other words, be an all-out indie fed. Now, some would say they were already an all-out indie fed, which is pretty much true. But I think when they talk about being an all-out indie fed, they're talking about the fact that, they can bring people in, but they're not contracted to them. So even if, let's say, somebody is the Ring of Honor champion, it doesn't mean that that person has to stay with Ring of Honor. Like if that person wants to go and sign with Impact Wrestling or AEW or WWE or even New Japan, they have the opportunity to do so. And if they're the champion, then, well, they'll just figure something out from there. Like, whenever, the guy's back in, back in the area, or the guy or gal is, available to be booked, they'll take the title off them there and put it on to whoever else they can get, and then allow that person, man or woman, to go and work with a new employer from then on in. But that's the vibe I'm getting here, that they want to go back to a more basic indie fed. Because how many independent companies are out there where essentially a lot of the top talent that they have working for them, as champions or just featured attractions or whatever, are not contractually obligated to them? A lot. A primary example, believe it or not, as I check something here, a primary example of that is PWG, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, here in California. Or APW, also here in California. A lot of the men and women that come through these promotions are not contractually obligated to stay with these promotions, and only work for them. They're allowed to go wherever they want. And that's the truth to the matter. They're allowed to go wherever they want. I mean, why do you think Malachi Black, is one half of the PWG Tag Team Champions, but he's not referenced as such in AEW? Because he's allowed to go to PWG and be a champion there, and they don't have to acknowledge it on AEW television unless they become a partner with AEW, and then they might get some kind of acknowledgement, here and there. So, to me, I think that's what they're trying to allude at, that they're going to go back to a status of being an indie promotion that is seen by everybody on syndicated programming, if maybe streaming platforms or national programming down the line. But they're going to be the kind of indie promotion that is truly an indie promotion, to where, basically they have champions, they have notable names, but they're not always going to be there all the time. And they're not going to, like I say, be contractually obligated to remaining with them if they sign with somebody else. I mean, a good example is, let's say Bandito comes back and is the champion once again, because we don't know if he'll keep the title after Final Battle or not. But let's say Bandito is the champion, and then let's say Bandito gets signed exclusively to All Elite Wrestling. Then Bandito can fully finish up his commitments with all the other indie promotions he's basically agreed to appear for, mostly if he's a champion, and that one of them in this case would be Ring of Honor. And by being contractual and basically being I wouldn't say fully contractual, but basically being obligated to finish out all these bookings, if you will, with Ring of Honor, he can go to his last Ring of Honor booking, drop the title or vacate it, and and go from there. That's it. The same with, let's say, what's her name, Roxy. That's ROK-C, Roxy. Let's say, she stays the women's champion, and she's still the champion when Ring of Honor resumes. Let's say, she gets signed exclusively to WWE in the NXT brand. She could pretty much finish out her booking obligations with all the other indie, promotions she's part of, mostly Ring of Honor, drop the belt to whoever they choose or vacate it and go from there. And that's about it. Same thing with the tag team scene. Same thing with the tag team scene. I mean, who are the tag champs in Ring of Honor right now? Who are the tag champs? I'm trying to see. Hold on for a sec. Let me see something here. I'm trying to see who is the tag champs. Let's see, current championships. Okay, tag champs. Okay, let's see. La Forgotten LFI, as they call them, LFI, which is Dragon Lee and Kenny King. So let's say, LFI, they're still the champions when they resume. Let's say they come back, well, not come back, but let's say LFI signs with, I don't know, Impact Wrestling exclusively. Then LFI, Kenny King, Dragon Lee, maybe Roosh, if you will, can finish up the obligations with Ring of Honor and other indie feds, and then go and start exclusively with, Impact Wrestling. And one of those booking obligations could be they could drop the tag titles to whoever Ring of Honor chooses. That's pretty much what it is. The same with, same with the World Television Championship. Dragon Lee, again, he's a double champion. So let's say Dragon Lee also, along with the bookings of, dropping the belts, the booking obligations to come back to Ring of Honor, drop the belts, and then go exclusively to Impact. Let's say, Dragon Lee also has to is booked to, drop the belt in his last appearance to, I don't know, whoever they choose. I don't know who would they choose. He could do that. He could do that and then go from there. The same with the Pure Championships. With the ROH Pure Championship, let's say Josh Woods is still the champion by the time they come back, after Final Battle, if they decide not to vacate the titles. And let's say Josh Woods gets signed to, AEW exclusively. He can come back, finish his booking obligation with but not All but Ring of Honor, and then go from there. That's it. He could drop the belt, vacate it, and go from there. The same with the World Six-Man Tag Team titles, if they keep that going. The Shane Taylor Promotions, who are the champions. Let's say the Shane Taylor Promotions, all three of them, get signed to, let's say, NXT. They got the look that Vince McMahon wants, right? He's one of those guys that one of those groups, trio guys or whatever, that he would make an exception for, in signing. So let's say they get signed to WWE, part of the NXT brand, and they have to finish out their obligations elsewhere. They can finish, the obligations with places like Ring of Honor, and by doing so, they could drop the World Six-Man Tag Team titles. The point is, what I'm getting at here is this is what I see happening with Ring of Honor. I see them basically having champions not for the long term, but champions that can get noticed during the run on syndication and stuff, but would be also but if gets signed to other promotions, would be obligated to come back and either vacate or drop the belt to whoever they need, no questions asked, no repercussions or anything, because they're not contractually obligated to Ring of Honor whatsoever. It's just a booking obligation, and that's it. All they would have to do, like I said, is come back, drop the belts or vacate them, and that's it. And that's kind of what I'm getting out of this whole Ring of Honor going, back to its roots, back to its true indie roots, if you will, a major super indie roots, not a major one, but a super indie roots. That's kind of the feeling I'm getting out of this. And to me, I think it makes sense. I think it will work. Because what you do is not only do you have your champions, whoever they might be, even if it's your current champions, you have them come in, you have them come back if they sign with somebody else and either vacate the title or, to the benefit of others, put somebody else over as the new champion. And then they go on their way, and that's it. That's it. They go out, by putting someone new over, and that's it. No, like I said, no contractual hassles or anything. They go off and do their own thing, and that's it. And I think in the long run, that's probably the best, direction they can go in, if they're going to go back to being a straightforward indie fed more so than people perceive them to be previously. But what do you guys think? Do you think Ring of Honor? Do you think that's the direction Ring of Honor is going to go in when they talk about being more of an indie fed? What are your thoughts on that? How do you feel about them going, in that direction of, hey, let's, if our champions get signed to somebody else, we can have them come back and either vacate or put over somebody else, as the new champion. What are your thoughts on it? Comment down below. Leave a comment in the live chat during the premiere, which hopefully you have. Like the video. Check out the Teespring store. Also check me out at BW Rosa's discussions on all your favorite audio podcast locations except for Pandora. Also check me out at BW Rosa's on VENMO, Patreon, BW Rosa's, and also check me out at VENMO if you want to help donate there as well. So until next time, guys, though, let me know what your thoughts are, and I am out.